Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is my fourth update for my project pan for 2022. So I am doing this in the Team Project Pan style, started by Haley and Kat from Beauty News. I am doing it, I think, a little bit more like Kat. I have mostly makeup products, so kind of a smaller list. And I do have a couple other items, though, that are not makeup, but we'll get to those when we get to those. This is a real good update, guys. We got a lot of things, a lot of moving and shaking happening in this video, so yay! So let's get right into it. So the first item I have is not the Urban Decay All Nighter, which I am starting to feel like I miss a little bit, so I will probably purchase that in the future. But anyway, this was a depotted Bath & Body Works Cocoa Shea Cucumber Refreshing Mist, so just like a refreshing mist spray. This is really moving along. I think I might be done this next month. Maybe. If it's not done in May, it's definitely going to be done in June. Like there's maybe a month, it's very low down. So as long as I remember to use this consistently, I could be done this next month. So that would be pretty exciting. Last month this was 81.02 grams. It's now 65.99 grams. So that's a difference of 15.03 grams. Now we're going to talk about empty number one. In this video, and the first one is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. It looks a bit funny because I actually cut it open so you can see inside. I scraped out as much as I could. I really tried to get in there and use this up all the way. I love this product. This is my second repurchase. I would repurchase this again. To me, it's a really great fall, winter, early spring, because it's still cold here, type primer. It's really just like extra moisturizing. It's just after I've done my skincare, because I normally don't do my skincare and then do my makeup right after. There's usually there's a break in between, so it's nice to throw on something moisturizing right before I'm putting on my makeup, especially with those drier, colder months. And this does have like a little bit of thickness and a little bit of slip to it that just makeup sits on top of it really, really nicely. So I am sad that I finished this, but again, as I said, I will repurchase this again in the future for sure. So last month this was 20.16 grams. It's now finishing at 10.57 grams. So that's a difference of 9.59 grams. In total since January, I used 38.06 grams. Apologies if you can hear a little bit of noise in the background. It's somebody running their water in my building, and sometimes you could hear it. I can hear it anyway, so hopefully it's not too loud. Next up is my foundation. It is the CoverGirl Vital Elixir Foundation in Ivory, number 605. This is really moving. So just to show you the picture here, or show you the close-up here with the line, you can see. So I think it was lower than it was last time. I think it's been lower than I've really thought most of the time with this foundation. It was really stuck to the sides. So what I ended up doing, it was using my little spatula and pushing it down on the sides, and like it's right down at the bottom. I can't even use the pump anymore. I'm actually using the spatula to scoop it out. Again, this is another product that could be done in May, by the end of May, potentially. Again, if not, definitely early June. It just depends on how much I can like scrape off the sides. But like we're getting pretty close on this one. Again, sad pan though. I really, really like this foundation. And it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know, CoverGirl, why? Why did you get rid of this? Every time I mention this, everybody else is like, I loved that foundation. So why did you stop doing it, CoverGirl? I don't get it. Talk to me. What's happening? What's going on? Because I would like to use this again. And it's a perfect color foundation for me. So kind of a side story, which I'll mention again in another video at some point probably. I was wearing this foundation, and at the end of the day I was meeting with a friend, and she's like, your skin looks really good. And I felt like when she said that, it was like, well, I do have a bit of foundation left, but I mean, it's been like 12, 14 hours since I put it on. So to me, that says this foundation wears down really well, because I knew the foundation had worn down. Like it never stays perfect on my face, but you know how some foundations like wear down blotchy or stick to dry spots or just look real like, eh. Like there's some foundations like when I go to the office and then I come home for the day, I'm like, I need to wash my face because my foundation, like it's just like, it feels disgusting. Whereas this one like just seems to wear really nicely and really evenly all over my face. So yeah, sad pan on this, but again, it'll be great to, well, it's not finished yet, but it'll be great to roll in another foundation because I have too many and I need to use up some of them. So last month this was 120.2 grams. It's now 113.24 grams, which is a difference of 6.96 grams. And in total so far I've used 23.88 grams. Also, sorry if I sound a little funny, my ear is plugged up. So I keep like it's sort of plugged up and sort of like coming clear, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. And so you know when you sound kind of funny in your own head because your ear's plugged up? That's happening right now. There's a lot of things going on, but we're gonna get through this video. Next up is my concealer. I have slowed down on using this. Here's the close-up of the lines. I keep accidentally rubbing the lines off on this one. I think I just need to redraw them. But we're getting pretty close to the bottom there, and you can kind of see on this side a little bit better how close to the bottom I am on this. But I have slowed down on using this because I'm not in a huge rush to finish it up. So I have been kind of like playing with some other concealers here and there, but I do really like this one. Again, I keep saying this, I would probably buy the brightening one over the light one because I think I need that like pinky base. It works a little bit better for me. So last month this was 23 grams. It's now 22.48 grams. So that's a difference of 0.52 grams. Next up is my powder, and yes, this packaging looks funny, but this is the Clinique Almost Powder Makeup in 02 Nearly Neutral, or sorry, Neutral Fair. Why do I say nearly neutral? What is that? Oh, I think that's the Rare Beauty blush, something like that. Anyway, this is moving along. Again, I've taken the pictures, but I haven't edited them yet, so I'll have to put it side by side so we can see the difference. But looking at the numbers, this one's really moving along. I feel like I am using it ever so slightly more right now because during the day I feel like I need to like powder my nose a little bit more. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling like things are got a little bit of slip, so I have been reapplying it a little bit more often than I was the past few months. I guess the winter months it's dry, I really don't feel like I need to powder. So last month this was 46.36 grams. It's now 45.23 grams, so that's a difference of 1.11 grams. So I feel pretty good about that. If I use more than a gram a month, that for me is good for a face powder. So I'm going to kind of do a 2-in-1 product right now. So this was my Franken bronzer, and it's done. So I'll throw up the picture of the side-by-side of what it was at the end of the last month versus the picture of where it's empty, so you can see sort of the difference. Like, I really did finish it, and then I cleaned out the pan, and I repressed my blush in that. So talking about the bronzer, the Franken bronzer, let's just talk about the weight. So last month it was 57.86 grams. It finished at 57.8 grams. I only had 0.06 grams left. Like there was nothing left. In total from January till I guess it would have been like early April, I used 2.69 grams of bronzer. So yeah, I ended up repressing the Annabelle blush into this pan, this compact, because I really like this compact. It's super convenient. Has a little mirror on it too and everything. So I did mix both the two shades together because that's kind of how I use it anyway. And I just felt like in that packaging, like I was just hitting all the plastic in the middle with the little divider. So this is a lot better. I can use a nice big brush and do a big sweep of blush if I feel like it. It's a little bit easier to use. So the weights from previous months, let's just forget about those. The weight of this when I started using it right after I repressed it was 58.75 grams. Now I already know I was smart. I weighed it when it was empty. I have about 0.92 grams of blush, so almost a gram of blush. It's going to take me all year based on the rate that I'm using it at. So now it's 58, so it was 58.75. It's now 58.66, so that's just a difference of 0.09. Not a whole lot. And looking at my numbers for the past 3 months, we're on par. Like I'm not really moving it a whole lot faster, so it is going to take me till the end of the year to finish this, probably, unless I start using it a little bit more. Like what I was doing with the Franken bronzer was scraping it a little bit because I did press it maybe a little bit hard. And yeah, so like if I scrape a little bit off to get a bit more pigment and more product and really do a good blush look, really blushy look, I'll go through it a little bit faster. But again, I'm not in a huge rush. If I take the whole year to finish this up, I take the whole year to finish it up. It's fine. I am using other blushes as well, so that does cause me to slow down a little bit on this as well. But yeah, super happy. So that was 2 products so far that we have finished. That means there's more. Next up is the Milk Highlighter in Lit. This is a little mini guy. I am noticing that this is ever so slightly starting to smell makeup-y. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's it, moving along. That's it, starting to go. So I've talked about this before that I don't know if I'll finish this by the end of the year at the rate that I'm using it. I am using it pretty slow. I'm not using it every day. it's not jiving with me right now, but I feel like, again, in the summertime, it might go faster. Like, I feel in the summertime, I might be able to, like, use it on, like, my, like, chest and my arms, like, use it on my body a little bit more, maybe my legs, to finish it up. So we'll see how that goes. But last month, this was 18.85 grams. It's now 18.52 grams. So that's a difference of 0.33 grams. So again, it is moving along, but it is taking its time. Oh, I skipped over something because I went from bronzer to blush. So the bronzer that I replaced the fragrant bronzer with, I talked about in my last video because I was so close to finishing that bronzer that I didn't want to have a whole month of no use. So the bronzer that I replaced my Franken bronzer with is this Nude Sticks Nudies Matte All Over Bronze color in Sunkissed. This is going real slow. This color it's not too dark, but it's too red for like what I like this time of year and for my skin. Like, this is my skin as it is. No tan, no nothing. And this is way more of like if I have a bit of tan and I want a bit more of a rosy, you know, sun-kissed look. Apt name. You know what I mean? Like that red, like if I get a bit of a tan, it does have a bit of redness to it. And I feel like this would definitely be much better in the summertime. So real slow going. Also, I was using I have a bronzer in my, I don't know which one it is. I think it's the Pan of Green Gables project. So I was kind of using that as well because I want to get that through that one. So this has been going a bit slow, but again, I've kind of picked up the pace in the past couple weeks now that I figured out. So how I use this is I do my foundation and then I put this on and then I put the powder on over top. And I feel like by putting the powder on over top helps this sort of blend in a little bit better. It doesn't look so stark in contrast to like my skin tone. Yeah, I just feel like it helps sort of blend the edges a little bit better by putting the powder on over top. So that's how I've been using it. So last month this was 30.19 grams. It's now 30 grams. So that's just a difference of 0.19 grams. The eyebrow product that I'm using is this Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Taupe. This is moving along. Again, I've taken the pictures, but I can tell even looking at this that I'm really starting to get to the end of this product. Again, it's going to take a while. Like, I feel like when I started, there was not a whole lot. It didn't look like a whole lot when I started. It still doesn't look like a whole lot, but I feel like this is definitely moving. Like, visually, I'm really seeing this move along. I'm happy about that. I like this product. Thank you guys for all your suggestions, too. There's been a few suggestions on some other brow pomades to try out, so I'm definitely keen to try something I haven't tried before instead of repurchasing this one. I do realize that I do like a brow pomade. That's kind of my jam. It does take me longer, which is kind of annoying. I do like a thin, like a micro pencil for like speed, but for the way I like my brows to look, I feel like a pomade does look pretty good in my brows as well. Much better than all the stupid brow gels that I keep trying. Just don't work for me. So I need to like give that up. Anyway, last month this was 45 grams. Now it's 44.85 grams. That's a difference of 0.15 grams. The eyeliner that I'm working on is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in Blacker, and I am glad that I'm working on this because this baby is drying out, and I didn't realize that it was. Like, it's still pretty black, and I still can get a pretty dark line. I do have it on today. I can get a pretty dark line on. I feel like it does wear down. Like, I put this on, you know, hours ago now, early this morning, so it has worn down. I could have reapplied it, but I didn't realize how dry this was getting until I packed this away because I was taking it with me when I was going away, and I just grabbed another black liner. I grabbed the Wet n Wild black eyeliner that I just recently bought, and that was so creamy and just like it's a pencil liner, but it just was so creamy and slid right on, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that means this is really, really drying out. But I am moving through this. I actually do have little pictures of like the markers in my book, which I should have already posted for the Milk highlighter. Like, it's moving along, so I'm pretty happy. Like, I feel like this will be done by summertime, like midsummer, and I'll start working on another black eyeliner because I have too many. I think I have like 4 or 5 black eyeliners. It's like maybe 2 is fine, but yeah, I have a few too many, so I want to work through them and get them done. And I'm glad I am doing this one because it is drying out. Like, it's definitely drying out compared to when I first had it, and compared to just that Wet n Wild liner, it was like night and day difference in terms of like creaminess. And I wouldn't have called the Wet n Wild one creamy in any sense. Like, that wouldn't have been a word that would have come front of mind to describe it. But to compare it to this, now that I've been using this, and it's drying out. Summary of the story, it's drying out. So last month, this was 6.17 grams. It's now 6.14 grams. So that's a difference of 0.03 grams. Oh, I'm missing an item. It's in the palette. I think I'm missing it. Yeah, it is in the palette. So I'll just put the side-by-side picture up so you can see what it is. This product again is moving along quite well. It's the individual shadow from the Real Her Be Your Own Kind of Beauty palette. And again, I use this as inner corner highlight, brow highlight. I have been kind of dusting it on as a highlight as well, like on my cheekbones. And it's working out quite nicely like that. I think I want to repress this. It's getting to the point where if I want to use it like as a face highlighter, I do need to repress it. It's fine to like leave it the way it is, because again, if I just use like a little small brush for my inner corner or my brow bone, it's working. But I'm considering repressing it. Not just yet, but maybe in May or maybe at the next update. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, last month that product was 1.51 grams. It's now 1.41 grams. So that's a difference of 0.1 grams. So again, for me, for a single shadow, that's pretty good. Next up is my Annabelle lip liner in Spice. This one's moving along. I've sharpened it a couple times. Again, I have like the little picture from my book that I think this has movement in it. If not, sorry, but I think it does. I think there's a bit of movement on this particular product in the book. And then obviously the side-by-side picture as well, I think will show a little bit of a difference. It's moving. It's slow, but it's moving. So we're getting there on this guy. Again, this will probably take all year to finish. And I think I'm okay with this now. I feel comfortable using this now. I know like I was kind of like not out of love with it, but I was wanting to use more of like mauvey pinks, but now I'm coming back around to like the brownie nudes. It's just where I'm coming back to. So I'm okay with using this again. So last month this was 2.7 grams. It's now 2.64 grams. So that's a difference of 0.06 grams. And the third empty we have, so if you watched my buys and buys video, this was a bit of a spoiler. Pond's Cold Cream. Yay! Finally finished this bad boy. I scraped it out. Again, I used my little spatula and scraped out as much as I could to finish it. And I'm so glad it's done, and I will not repurchase it. So again, if you watch my buys and buys, or you've watched any of these videos, you've heard me talk about this, it leaves a film on your face that you cannot get off. And it's super annoying. So I will not repurchase this. It was effective. It did remove my makeup. But it wouldn't leave my life on my face when I tried to wash it off. So last month this was 56.86 grams. It's finishing at 46.59 grams. That's a difference of 10.27 grams. Since January I used 81.54 grams. So I'm pretty happy about that. I used just over half, I think, based on the little line that I have there. I used just over half to finish this up. So yeah, it would take probably 8 months to finish this whole thing if I used it. Well, I didn't use it regularly though either. So between 6 and 8 months to use this up. I don't recommend it though, but if you're using this type of product, and that kind of helps me gauge if I'm using this kind of product like a cleansing balm, 6 to 8 months is probably how long a cleansing balm is going to take me to use. So that is a non-makeup item, and I'm not replacing it with a makeup remover. The reason why that was in this project was I just needed to get it done, and I wanted to get it done before the weather started getting warmer. It was definitely easier to use in the colder months because having that little bit of extra moisture was fine. But I have one cleansing oil, a Josie Maran cleansing oil, and then I have the makeup removing wipes from Marcel, and I'm good. Those are actually my two favorite makeup removers, and I'm good. I have a backup of a cleansing oil from ColourPop because the Josie Maran one's actually getting pretty close to being done as well. So yeah, I don't need to put a makeup remover in this project or in any project anymore. I'm good. It was mostly just to focus on getting that done. Speaking of getting things done, this item was also in the same family of just like get her done. This was the Smith's Rosebud Salve, and again, I wasn't using this on my face. I was using this on my like knees, on my feet, my cuticles. The smell of it was just really getting to me. But again, there was not a whole lot of product left. And as I mentioned, when I brought this into the project, I thought I already finished this. Like I was like, why are you still here? I thought you were done. Nope. So we just like finish it up and move it on out. And again, I'm not replacing this with anything in my project. It was kind of a one-off. I have my lip balms and stuff in my lip balm project. So last month this was 18.25 grams. It's now 17.19 grams. So I used 1.52 grams this past month. And in total in this project, I used 2.6 grams to finish this item up. So happy that is done. I liked the product, but because of the smell, I won't repurchase it, at least anytime soon. Talked about this, me and scents right now, things are just really out of whack. And I'm not really a rose scent person anyway. It was just so happened that this didn't bother me when I first bought it. But yeah, just not jabbing with me now. Okay, and because I finished up the primer earlier on, I do want to replace that with a primer because that is a makeup item, and I do have a number of primers that I want to work through this year. In particular, I have picked this one. This is the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. This is their like OG basic primer. I'm pretty sure I got this in a BoxyCharm. It's my oldest primer that I have, so that's really why I picked it. It's kind of, the line's a little like because you can see it's not even in the bottle. But I do want to work on this. Again, this is a product I'm okay if it takes me all year. I do have a couple of mini primers that I do want to finish up as well, so I'll probably be interchanging between a couple of different primers. But this is one, because it is my oldest, I would like to work through it and finish it up by the end of this year. Again, if it goes pretty slow, like I feel like I did use the Fab one pretty quickly. This one might not have such fast movement. I can see this taking me like 6 months to finish. Just based on the amount I use. You don't use a whole lot of this, whereas I feel like the Fab one I used a lot more of the product, just based on the nature of the style of product. I like this. I've talked about, like, I would repurchase this one. It's a smoother, it's similar to, like, if you think of the Benefit Professional, but then mix that with something like this. Like, it's got a little bit more slip to it, a little bit more moisturizing effect to it. It's not quite as stiff and as dry, but it still has a bit of a blurring effect as well. So it's sort of like the Professional plus this combined, if that makes sense. That's what I feel like anyway. So I do like it. Again, it's not like a perfectly 100% smoothing. Like, I can still see the texture in my face, but I feel like it just smooths things out ever so slightly. It makes it a little bit easier to smooth on foundation. And the starting weight of this is 97 grams. So yeah, super happy. I finished 4 products in this project this month, which is amazing, I feel like, for me anyway. At this point in the year, I have finished up 7 products. At this point in the year, I have finished up 7 products so far through this project, and I currently have 11 products in this project. I was thinking about maybe adding a fragrance. I'm not 100% sure if I will add a fragrance to this project, or if I'll use maybe one of my prompts in my themed project pans to add a fragrance. I'm not great at adding fragrances. I've talked about that before. Like, I get sick of them pretty quickly, but I do have a couple that it's like I wouldn't mind making a little bit of progress on them, and through a project might be helpful. Anyway, that is my 4th update for my project pan for 2022. If you like this video, feel free to give a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.